Mic check, mic check, mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Mic check, miggity, 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 mic check 1 2. Welcome back to the Random Show. Welcome back to the Random Show. Episode number 415. This is episode number 415 of the Random Show. Before we continue, do not be alarmed, do not be concerned. This is not part of the marathon stream. This is a one-off, well, one-off, but a random stream that's going to be made for members only after the fact. I'm still going to stream again later on today. So you're going to get probably 3 shows today. This random show, a Taz later, and another random show later on tonight. So don't be worried. If you don't have time today, if it's too early for you, you can come back later in the evening when I'll do day 2 of the marathon stream of the random show. But this will be a members only stream after this records. After this stops streaming, I'll make it members only. So if you're a member, you'll be able to rewatch it. If you're not, unfortunately you won't. But this is what we're doing today. Big up everybody that's chilling, big up everybody that's out there. I appreciate all of you. It's currently 12:54 p.m. in London town. The sun is shining through the right hand side of my room right now. I can see clear blue skies, some clouds here and there, but the sun is shining. Cars are beeping and horning and passing by my window, blaring some good music. I see a couple sundress. I see a couple big batty aunties out there strutting their things. I see some of the fellas out there with their big guts and their tits and their chest out there. I see kids on scooters running around. I see mums chasing after them, making sure they don't get hit by cars. I see people sucking on ice lollies, no pause. So summer has finally arrived in London. Summer's finally arrived. If I'm not mistaken, this weekend actually might be the warmest day of the year. Allegedly, this weekend might be the warmest day of the year. So wherever you guys are, hopefully you're somewhere sunny. If you're not somewhere sunny, don't worry about it. You can maybe absorb some of the sun through my shitty MacBook webcam thing on my computer, which I actually have to replace. I don't know if you guys don't know this, right? But essentially, this MacBook that I use is like, I don't know, 10 years. How old is it? I don't even know how old it is, because I need to actually get a new one. I'm gonna hopefully get the MacBook M4. That's the plan, right? The new MacBook Mini M4 and the Mac Mini. I think that will completely upgrade and update my fucking setup, and I'll be fucking set if I get those. I'm currently operating on a 2015 MacBook Pro, right? I'm currently operating on a 2015 MacBook Pro, but unfortunately, like an idiot, I broke the screen. So the screen doesn't work. So I have to basically use this on the monitor, which it's kind of cool. I found this, I went down a bit of a rabbit hole, and I found this community of people that use MacBooks, but they don't use them with the screen, they just use the keyboard. So some people will completely disassemble the MacBook Pro, or remove the screen. Like a MacBook does that, right? It's like clamshell. Some people will remove the screen from a MacBook Pro and just use the keyboard and plug in their HDMI cables on the side and shit, and use their MacBook keyboard or the base of the MacBook with a monitor instead of using it with a laptop. Kind of funny, isn't it? To be fair, I remember seeing that at work. I remember when I used to work on a couple of startups, I remember seeing guys who have removed the MacBook screen and were using the MacBook with a monitor as opposed to using it with laptop screen. So I had to get the screen replaced, so I can't actually see myself. That's a mad thing. I can't actually. That's why sometimes when I'm recording the stream, I'm always staring this way, because this is the monitor I'm using. But the monitor that I'm using is only one screen, so I can't exactly see myself every time I'm recording or streaming. So I kind of have to look, I'm kind of looking weird ways. But regardless, you should be able to see the sun, hopefully, streaming in from this way. So regardless of where you are out in the world, even if there's no sun where you're at, hopefully I can give you some sunny vibes. You can kind of get some sunny vibes from watching this stream, hopefully. If you're somewhere cold or dreary or damp, or maybe you're just locked up somewhere, I don't know. Wherever you guys are, bang your doors, bang your chest. Happy to have you. Happy you're here with me right now. We're going to have a good fun show. We're going to get into a bunch of things and continue on. Because I love to yap, most likely I have a lot more left to kind of talk about later on tonight as well. So don't worry. If you want to be part of the marathon, you'll be part of the marathon later on. But obviously, normal rules still apply. If you want to take part in the show, make sure you like the stream, subscribe to the channel. Of course, if you want to gift memberships or become a member yourself to access content like this and other content I'll be putting behind the quote-unquote paywall, of course, the link is in the description. You can press the dollar button, obviously, on the chat bot as well. By the way, it's working now. Before my super chats weren't working because I had a little faux pas where I accidentally showed like raw cock and balls on the flipping stream. Wasn't my fault, by the way. Well, kind of was my fault. It was my fault because I did search for dworking on Twitter. I should have known better. There was a meme going around. I was trying to explain to people on stream what dworking was. I wrote, dworking on the Twitter search bar, press enter, and legit, the second result, the second tweet was like a guy with full cock and balls. Full cock and balls. And if I'm not mistaken, the angle was from the bottom up as well. Super disgusting angle, but I get it. If you're like a guy trying to sell your material, you want people to see everything. You know what I mean? You want people to see your hole, you want people to see the balls, you want to see people to see the meat. You know what I mean? You want people to get the full package. But for me, streaming wise, my heart was nearly in my mouth. I was like, oh my God, bro. I've just been building up this channel and now I'm gonna get flipping yanked. But luckily it didn't happen. I got demonetized for a couple of days, but I was able to appeal it. And obviously I took the flipping clip out of the stream so you can't see anyway. And YouTube granted me a second chance. So hallelujah, thank God, hallelujah, thank God. The less said about that, the better. Let's continue. Big up everybody in the stream chat. Big up Apex Putter. Big up Abe Martinez. Big up Roger Smith. Big up G1 Roger. Big up Tony FM. Wagwan GG. Big up Brad Acko. Big up Brad Acko. Sorry, Acko. Aceco or Acko. Big up Purple Pidge. Who else is in here? Big up Jordan Ray, my GG. Wagwan. So, let's get into it. First things first. First things first. The one we want to talk about is this, courtesy of Danny from the Stop. Big up Danny from the Stop. Danny from the Stop posted an interview clip from his full interview that he did with Rory from New Rory and More. It's surprising to me, to be fair, surprising because I remember Rory saying that he wasn't really about the drama, but for some reason he loves sitting down with flipping, what's his face? With Rory or just anybody. Oh no, Rory doesn't like to do drama, but then loves to engage with drama stuff like going spaces. He seems to have a good relationship with Danny. So it's always wondering what's that about? You don't want to, because maybe he thinks drama is not, maybe, I don't know. Because maybe his interpretation of drama is Joe Biden questions, but surely he must know Danny's only going to ask about that. He's only going to ask about the breakup and all that stuff. He's not really going to give a fuck about his career and all this sort of stuff. He's mostly got him on the show to ask drama questions about why they broke up or why, one of the best podcasts at the time kind of went kind of split and shit. He's probably going to ask that sort of stuff, but I could be wrong. Anyway, enough of my yammering and yappering. So Danny from the Stop sat down with Rory from New Rory and More, and at the beginning of the interview, the whole interview I don't think is out yet. Maybe it is out. Don't know. I think it might be on his Patreon. But he sat down with Rory from New Rory and More, and the first thing that came up was Rory, quote unquote, trying to press Danny for a apology for something he might have said to Demaris, Baby D, the producer and one of the co-hosts kind of New Rory and More. Now, I don't really remember what happened, what their back and forth was about. I know that Demaris isn't the biggest fan of Danny. A lot of people in that space aren't really, to be honest, because he's, could be a bit of a shit stirrer. But I don't really think whatever he said to her would be necessary. Yeah, I don't think whatever Danny said to her would kind of, this sort of reaction will be necessary. I don't think so. I know he's got a beef with Queen Flips, and they're kind of, they're probably, if he ever cross paths with him, Mosaki Killswift will put hands and feet on him. But I don't think, or maybe even Amani would, but I don't think his beef with Demaris is that deep that Rory needs to do this whole, like, I'm trying to press you, not press you thing. It's weird. Anyway, let's play the clip and then we'll react to it. Big up Danny from the Stop.
All right, welcome. It's Danny from the Stop and Rory. It's been almost 2 years, Rory.
Mm-hmm.
How are you doing?
We're going to start with an apology to Demaris.
Oh, okay. For what?
I don't know.
Why?
So, I don't know about you, but he seemed kind of serious there. Am I the only one not picking it up? Is that him joking? Or did he have that kind of serious Rory face? Where he's like, didn't he look kind of serious? Or was that just a joke? I don't know.
Well, how you going to expect me to apologize?
I don't have a rider. I don't have anything. but Demaris is who I care about the most. So apologize, and we'll just move forward.
Maybe that's a joke. Maybe there's a joke there. Maybe there's a joke there. Maybe it's not too serious. I don't know.
But
We could have the best interview on earth, but just
I wish
apologize to one of my best friends and somebody I consider family.
for what?
I don't know.
Rory, someone I consider family. We know how many people you consider family, bro. Probably the postman that delivers your fucking mail you consider family. Come on, Rory.
But that's kind of odd.
Facts.
Yeah, it's irrational.
By the way, big up Danny from the start, but he's definitely got a face and a body for podcasting, right? Or YouTube. Like, he looks a fucking mess. God damn it, brother. Shave or something, trim the hair, but I guess that makes sense, innit? If you're gonna be obsessed with other YouTube channels or podcasts, essentially, because Danny's got really, like, I thought I know a lot of Joe Budden law. He's very knowledgeable. He's like encyclopedic when it comes to his knowledge of what happened, what occurred here and there. So maybe it makes sense that somebody that looks like this would know that sort of stuff, because your focus is probably a lot on like working and kind of like listen to Joe Budden. Do you know what I mean? You probably not got a lot of time to kind of focus on yourself or whatever it may be. But yeah, I don't know, man. A little shave here and there won't go amiss, you know. But maybe he's locked in.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm willing
So
to...
much for giving a good interview. That was easy.
With the energy that we were.
Okay. Where do we start
Drink some
now?
water.
You don't think it's weird to crash out on women like that?
Crash out like how? Because I feel like it was just, space, and I didn't really crash out.
Okay, but if somebody calls you weird, fine.
Is that a nervous sip? Was that a nervous sip?
Space, and I didn't really crash out.
Okay, but if somebody calls you weird,
Was that a nervous sip? Or was he just drinking water just to kind of lubricate his throat as he's about to embark on some epic interview questions retaining to fucking Demaris and Rory? Was that nervous sip? Or what? The side eye is fucking sending me though. The side eye is sending me. He's just keeping his eyes open just in case Rory tries to sneak him. He's just in case Rory tries to sneak him. He's trying to keep his head on the swivel. He's checking his shoulders. Xavi, Busquets style, you know? Iniesta style. He's just making sure.
he calls you weird, fine. But you think it's okay to go through their whole fucking YouTube page and go nuts on a woman?
I don't think I went nuts.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, the water dropped. Couldn't
Nigga's nervous, isn't it?
get attention.
So you have no apology for it.
I would need to talk through it. Like, I would... Because I don't feel like... I feel like I'm pretty respectful.
Okay.
And I felt like I was respectful in that rant. And
How so?
even I felt like it was just a conversation, you know, kind of like a content back and forth that we do in content creation.
No, we need to stop hiding.
I'm not sure if he's joking, but that's a funny sentence. It's the content back and forth. We're doing content. Like, what? Why would you say that with your check? Why would you admit something like that as a man? Why would you essentially admit that nothing I say I really mean? I'm just saying it to kind of get a reaction. And even if I'm arguing with a woman, it shouldn't really mean much because it's just contact. What? Brother, just lie. Stand on something. Come on, man. But again, maybe he doesn't even remember what he said, so maybe that's why he's saying this, but it's just funny.
Behind this shit, yes. Some stuff is for content, but sometimes it's disrespectful.
But you didn't hear that, did you? Like, did you hear what was the disrespect? Like, I do think sometimes there is a conversation that needs to be had about what is disrespect, because it could be and I don't think I do that. I don't think I did that to Demaris. There's times I do feel like I did that. Yeah.
And I mean, I didn't hear the shit, but
Yeah.
God almighty. Hold on. So Rory pulls up to Danny Rory pulls up to the stop to have an interview with Danny. And all the while, in the back of his mind, he knows the first thing he's going to say when they start recording is, I want you to apologize to my friend Demaris. So kind of ambushes him in a way to get an apology out of this guy because he felt like his best friend was disrespected. But he doesn't even know why he wants that apology. So he's pressing Danny from the stop on either Demaris' behalf or on his own behalf as a friend, but he doesn't even know what he's upset about. Or is he just being cool? You know how people do on content? You know people do online now where they're like, oh, I didn't see that, I didn't even see it, someone had to send it to me still. Is he just doing one of those things? Or did he actually not see what the infraction, what the disrespect was in that content that would make him want to be so angry or so like frustrated or whatever the emotions he's got now? Epic, isn't it? How are you going to press someone about something that you didn't see?
I was just told that. And
who told you?
See?
Now
we giving up sources?
No, I'm saying like, it depends on the messenger, right? If I tell you, right? Am I right?
I mean, I guess, but it still matters.
Yeah.
Like, what is it? If the whole landing of it is...
No, because the messenger could be curating things a certain way. Like
I'm not saying that that's not the case whatsoever. I'm saying though, all right, let's go to Vlad and Lord Jamar, who are now fucking friends now.
Okay.
I like their interviews so far.
I feel like Vlad was wrong about that entire thing because I'm not saying we're friends per se, but we've collaborated.
We cool.
Yeah.
I would say we cool. I don't know about you, but yeah.
We've collaborated. If I feel like somebody feels a way about something you said, as somebody I do business with, collab with, whatever, you should apologize on behalf of me. That's the same way I felt Vlad should have apologized for misquoting the minister.
What? Like, you don't even know what you're angry about or what you're upset about. Your friend had a falling out, had some sort of disagreement with the guy you're interviewing with. You didn't like how your friend spoke to you didn't like how this guy spoke to your friend. But you don't even know what he said. So you're pressing him without the information, and now you're making analogies and examples of things that don't even relate. What?
If Lord Jamar is saying, "Dog, you supposed to be my man," like we do content together, I'm asking you to apologize for that because somebody felt away. Yeah, I don't think that's a crazy thing to ask of somebody. I would do the same thing. If I said something wild and he was like, yo, I'd appreciate if you just apologized in that even if you don't feel like he was wrong, these people feel a certain type of way about it.
Why don't they ask me for the apology? Why are you like, honestly, this is so bizarre. And again, he doesn't even know what was said. Why don't aren't these grown-ups? Aren't these people with like rent, mortgages, children, like long-term partner? Like what? You're now fighting this grown woman's battles. Why can't she step to him and ask him for an apology? Why are you doing it on her behalf? And if it is that bad, or what he said was that disrespectful, why are you even sitting down with him? Surely a part of your protest or a part of you maybe showing that your displeasure would be to reject the fucking interview and say, hey, I'm not doing this interview until you apologize to my friend. Until you're cool, then I'm not going to do nothing with you. And then it's up to them to decide what they want to do. The ball's in their court. But this whole conversation, this whole like thing is just bizarre. Like, huh?
You should apologize for that.
Okay. Well, I would say, analogies aren't supposed to be 100% right.
I'm not saying me and Demaris are Lord Jamar and Vlad. I'm just saying
you would be fair.
I'm just trying to be fair.
So what are you saying then? If you're not saying that, why did you bring it up as an example? I know my analogy kind of sucks, but I wasn't trying to say it. So why did you use that analogy? Come on, Rory, you're better than this, brother. You're better than this.
Roricon.
Everyone relax, because I am an ally of the NOI.
Of course.
I would hope so, because that would be bad to be an enemy of that.
But yeah, do you not see that like perspective of like,
I see
even when I was hitting you before doing this of like, yo, can you send me that audio? Because I got to make sure everything is cool, because that's like Demaris is. I know people joke about.
Can you send me that audio? Why don't you go and look for it yourself? Why don't you ask the person that was offended when it was said? Surely you can search for it and find it yourself. Why does Danny have to send you the clip for you to double check to see if you're angry or not? Why can't you find out yourself? Surely you want to get all the context without any type of edit, bias, whatever. So you'd want to go out and look for the whole clip, be able to kind of come to your own conclusion based on the entirety of the information being available to you. Why would you want to ask the person that's involved who may kind of try and purposely omit certain things to give you that information? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, just go look for it yourself, brother.
Me saying family, but that's like legitimately Yeah, it's like
That's
the
fam.
fucking godmother to my daughter type shit.
If that's true, then why are you sitting down on the show with Danny from the stop? If he offended your godmother so badly, why are you there talking to him?
Like,
Understood. Yeah, I just feel like we could have, talked about it. I didn't know you were gonna lead like this.
I mean, I asked for the audio.
No, but I didn't know you were gonna lead with like demanding an apology.
Yeah, and that's my friend. Like,
But how could I have forecasted that?
because I texted it
This
to
feels
you.
like my
like, what are we? This was my energy through the whole. Like, can we go through our text?
through the whole exchange before we got here.
sit it back, rewind. Did you demand an apology in the text?
No, I asked for the audio,
Oh,
and the
okay.
fact that you wouldn't send it to me made me feel like, oh, you did say some crazy shit.
I didn't say some crazy shit.
Do you?
What a weird exchange, man. Like, what the fuck is going on right now? So Danny was afraid to send Rory the audio of what he said about Demaris. I'm guessing because he was afraid if he sent it, Rory might hear it and then cancel the interview. But Rory, because he's non-confrontational, didn't press the issue and went and turned up anyway and tried to like press him live on camera, but then ended up kind of copping pleas, walking it back. Like, what is this? What is this exchange?
think that if you sent the audio that would give Rory the context, maybe could have prevented asking for the apology?
I feel like those things are absent of each other. But
How did absolutely how? If he says he's upset about something you said about his friend, how would that be like what? How is that absent of each other? How? How, Sway?
I mean, I guess let me do my mic adjustment.
I mean, it is what it is. You get back to your interview, but yeah, I just had to start with that entire thing.
I just feel like the Vic Mensa
playing with
act.
Demaris is just not like something I'm comfortable with. Shit.
Bro, these people are just full of shit. If you're not comfortable with it, why are you on the show? These guys have a weird way of showing their discomfort in it. From the house phone to the potload to the tokes and the blasey. Everyone has a really weird way of showing how, like, even the Doja Cat situation happened recently. Everyone has a really strange way of showing that they're uncomfortable with something. How are you going to be uncomfortable with something but then turn up on the interview with a person that made your friend and yourself feel uncomfortable?
You want to joke on Maul? Joke on Maul.
Mm.
When you're talking to Maul, you want to joke on Rory? That's fine. Both of us understand that, but you're not playing with her.
I wouldn't.
That's
Why would that be the case? If she put herself out there, if anything, a lot of fans have been saying, and I'm a big fan of Rory and Moore anyway. I like their podcast. I like Demaris too. I think she's a great B mic, C mic, whatever she is in a role. I think she's maybe one of the best out there. But some fans say that she is a little bit precious. She is a little bit thin-skinned. And if you're gonna put yourself out there, if you're gonna be a podcast or streamer person, you gotta develop thicker skin. You gotta be able to roll with the punches. You gotta be able to let the water roll off you like a duck's back and shit. You gotta be able to put up with a lot more stuff without kind of crashing out, without deleting your fucking socials, without all that nonsense stuff. You gotta just be active and available and just know how to kind of handle this sort of shit. So Rory's saying, "Oh, Demaris is, you can't touch her. She's the one that you should be precious about." It's like, not really, And if anything, this will probably make it worse. This whole exchange.
I would.
we don't do that.
Okay. Well, I mean, I won't. I would have to have a thought processing of the dynamics between what happened on that stage and what she said on the pod, and then maybe an apology.
I'm not saying you're not allowed to reply.
Maybe.
And again, I hope like this
I
isn't
would-
coming off as like I'm not trying to
It doesn't
press her.
feel
I'm
like
not,
it doesn't feel
everything is-
like
Surely, if you want to get the message across, you should just let it lie like that. You shouldn't be trying to clear it up and say, "Hey, I'm not trying to press you." Yes, you are. You're trying to press him. You successfully did press him. He looks very nervous. He looks very thrown off and shit. But this whole walking it back and acting like you didn't, it's kind of passive aggressive. I'm not gonna lie. I'm starting to believe that academic story, about Rory pulling up and putting the card in his mouth. I'm starting to believe it. I'm only starting to believe it. Because this is very passive aggressive, weird behavior. You're obviously pressing him and then you're saying, "No, I'm not, by the way, I'm not pressing him. Yes, you are.
loving it. I promise.
I
I'm
would
not
think
trying to give that energy.
it does not feel
okay,
like
all
it.
right, thank God. Yeah, I
I
don't
mean,
want people
demanding
thinking I
as an
came up
observer-
here and like fucking pressed on some. Yeah, I'm not on that type of time.
The
So-
man
the bow tie on the table.
would be, kind of.
Well, I try to
oppressing.
set an example of the
I
Vlad
hear
and,
ya.
and Lord Jamar shit. If you want to work with somebody that feels some type of way how you offended somebody that's close to them, like that's not a. I would apologize. And I know you're gonna stand and you're gonna put Danny doesn't back down and never apologize. That's cool. I'm not trying to get you to say I'm sorry like on some pressing shit, but that's just how I felt.
Okay, no, I
tried to get this done on text, by the way.
Okay.
And it didn't happen. So
now we're here.
Yeah.
Now we're here.
Yeah.
Could you at least...
I ran into the yesteryear. I'm already
That's a whole, it's a whole thing.
I don't want to say what that is.
No, we're not talking about that.
I want to be clear. That was not something I set up. Yeah.
you
I would
never
have to be the
able to
craziest.
set that up.
I'd be after Kaiser Sose of this pod shit.
I would respect if you set that up. I was like, this is the most diabolical motherfucker I've ever seen in my life.
I would stop working with you, Danny.
All right, well, everyone take a breath. Let's cleanse the energy.
This feels like a Euphoria pod. Like, like the show.
Anyway, that's basically it. I don't really understand the conversation. I don't really get the point of it. Rory was obviously pressing Danny from the start. Danny knows exactly what he said about Demaris, but is afraid to even say it again. Maybe because he doesn't want the show to end or the interview to kind of get cancelled. Maybe because he's embarrassed about what he said and he regrets it. I don't know. But he clearly is uncomfortable and worried about saying it again. Because if I was him, I would have just doubled down and said it again to Rory's face. You know what I mean? Like, what time? Like, just what? It's not that deep, really. But he didn't. And then I guess Rory also kind of felt bad because he agreed to the interview. Then he gets saying he's pressing the guy, so he's copping pleas and walking stuff back. All in all, a bit of a shit show. And again, just surprising because I swear Rory told us recently he's not in it for the drama. He hates drama, hates drama, hates drama. But he's, in my opinion, gone out of his way a lot of times to talk to all these drama channels or to be around drama shit, whether it's on Spaces, whether it's looking for this Danny guy from the stop. He always seems to be around. So I wonder how long he can continue this Danny, whatever a narrative that he's got going on. Demaris did respond to that interview, and she said the following. Baby D, the person at the heart of this issue, right? Baby D did respond and said the following. Demaris on social media says, okay, I usually let narratives ride. No, you don't. But this I cannot. Rory doesn't play about me. Never has, never will. And because of this, he be demanding apologies for me on his own. All caps. Kind of throwing your friend under the bus a little bit, but hey. I do not be giving enough of a flying fuck about any of y'all to be wanting an apology about shit I didn't even hear. Again, like, what is with this, like, not admitting you see and hear things in content? Could somebody tell me what this is about? Why is everybody so quick, so insistent on saying they didn't see or hear something when we all have heard and seen things? Especially if you're someone on the level of their show, right, which is getting watched by 100,000 people, maybe millions per month. You're going to be paying attention to what people are saying on the streets. You are. Why wouldn't you? It fucking doesn't make sense. So I really don't know what's going on with that. It's surprising because Rory went on that show with Danny from the stop to press Danny about owing Demaris a fucking apology. Demaris then turns around and admits on her social she doesn't even know what Danny said about her. She's just mad and doesn't like him because I guess she heard from somebody else that says that. It's like, what? You heard from somebody else that he may have said something about me. That's why you're like crashing out. Oh my god. Anyway, it continues. So please, enough with the Demaris feelings or hurt. I do not care about y'all to have hurt feelings over your opinions on my damn opinions. So please, enough with the Demaris feels hurt. No, let me say that one more time. I'm fucking slurring my words here. So please, enough with the Demaris feelings or hurt. I do not care about y'all to have feelings hurt over your opinions or my damn opinions. Y'all got too self-absorbed and parasocial with this podcast shit. Anytime somebody mentions parasocial stuff or not caring, they care and they're flipping pissed off that the fans can read them so easily. That's probably why. Whenever a content creator, streamer mentions how annoying it is that their fans are parasocial or people that don't like them have this passionate relation with them, it's just because their fans or viewers have figured them out pretty easily from afar. That's what really grinds their gears. But again, maybe it's your fault for saying so much shit or just saying, saying a lot by not saying anything at all. Who fucking knows? But clearly her feelings are hurt. Clearly that's why she's responding and talking about it on social. I just wish she just wouldn't have approached it or spoken about it at all. because she already gets enough hate as it is. You don't need more people jumping on your back and taking a piss out of you. But hey, Demaris is going to do what Demaris is going to do. And then there's one more tweet here that says, I usually ignore this podcast reaction bullshit. No, I'll usually ignore all of this podcast reaction spaces bullshit because it really feels like working for free. But y'all saying that man could ever hurt my feelings is an L. I'm just not willing to take. If I don't care if only 5 people think it, that's more than I'm comfortable with. So she's uncomfortable with being seen as a victim of someone who looks like Danny from the stop, which I understand, right? Because he does look like the quintessential kind of nerdy, geeky guy, right? Or the neckbeard type of dude. I get it, because he's fat and doesn't look after himself and stuff. I understand. But someone can still hurt your feelings. It's okay if you hurt your feelings. It's okay to admit that maybe he might have said something even in passing that kind of cut deep. And maybe it's okay to maybe be like, hey, that wasn't cool, and demand an apology. Now, he doesn't need to give it to you, but demanding an apology is perfectly okay. Feeling a little bit vulnerable about it or whatever may be pretty okay too. But the marriage needs to be real. She's clearly offended. That's why Rory went and spoke to him. I'm sure she must have spoken to Rory about the situation, or maybe he heard about it. I don't know. But yeah, man, weird situation all around. Absolutely bizarro situation all around. But there you go.